Welcome back to Quilt Museum Television from the National Quilt Museum. Today I'm going to start the show by jumping right into talking about our brand new exhibit. It's entitled Light Show, and it's by the Contemporary Quilt Art Association. Let's go to our curator, Rachel Barr, to give you more information about this exhibit.
Hello, my name is Rachel Barr. I'm the staff curator here at the National Quilt Museum, and I'm excited today to tell you about our newest show, Light Show. This is by the Contemporary Art Quilts Associates of Washington State. We have over 30 quilts, some amazing interpretations of light. It really is an electrifying sensory experience. Let me tell you about a couple of the quilts. One is an interpretation of Van Gogh's Starry, Starry Night. They use found objects and what the artist calls road rummage, so that's a very interesting quilt. We have another quilt by an artist who incorporates some letters from her father. It's on the back of the quilt, so you'll be able to see the front and the back. And then let me also tell you about this quilt. This is A Murder of Crows by Bonnie Buckman. Now, let me assure you, no crow was harmed in the making of this quilt. This murder of crows, murder means flock or a group of crows. And so she has interpreted this as flying crows in this grouping. And you can almost see the way things are stitched, that iridescent fluttering of their wings as they're flying off into the distance. So that's one interpretation of light, or how an artist may see light. Ms. Buckman, in her techniques, she will do a lot of freeform cutting. She doesn't usually use a straight edge. What she enjoys doing is placing the pieces to really see how they will work together and what's the best use. And she enjoys that spontaneous aspect of quilting. So Bonnie Buckman is just one of the many quilts that you will see here. We have over 33 amazing quilts. You'll see things that you haven't seen before in an art quilt. One quilt as well has lights running through it, so that's something kind of exciting and different to see. And so we invite you to the National Quilt Museum to see our latest exhibit, Light Show. It will be here until December the 12th. If you'd like more information, please visit our website, quiltmuseum.org. We hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kris Vierra, and this is my quilt, Tiger Tiger. This quilt was designed for a quilt contest about 2-3 years ago, and the theme was optical illusions. And I knew that a lot of people were or at least I thought that a lot of people were probably going to do, your shape optical illusions, your black and white sort of stuff, and I wanted to go a little more outside the box. I've always been really fascinated with the pictures of, like, do you see the lady or do you see the vase? Do you see the old lady or the hag, sort of the beautiful woman, those sort of ones. And so this is my version of that. There are actually 16 tigers hidden in this quilt. There's 6 in the applique and piecework and another 10 in the quilting. You have to kind of think a little outside the box to find them, because not all of them are actual literal tigers. Some of them are more figurative tigers. For example, we have tiger, T-I-G-E-R, in quilting. Okay. The tiger himself is actually done with Inktense pencils, and then he was appliqued on top of the quilt. I actually, kind of a funny story about this, and people will tell you you never do this with quilts, but you got to make what works works. I made him twice. The first time I made him, I used the black Inktense pencils, but what I didn't realize is that you have to get them wet to activate him and get the true color in, and I'm left-handed. And so as I was drawing, I was tracking just little itty-bitty microparticles of black across all of this yellow, and they didn't show up until I got it wet. And so when I got it wet to activate it, I had all these little black marks in there. So when I made him again, I didn't want to make the same mistake twice. I didn't want to make him a third time. So he's actually done with Sharpies to make all of the black, and it gives it a really nice, heavy-duty black color, but didn't have to worry about tracking any more of the Inktense. The trees back here are also done with the same Inktense. The rest of it is all a version of a needle-turned applique that I do on my sewing machine. I am incredibly impressed with anybody that does anything by hand, but I don't have the patience. I have a 14 and a 17-year-old in a full-time business, and so you may notice by the way I talk, I don't do slow real well. I try, but I don't. So let's see, what else can I tell you about him? Let's see. Oh, this is the one people probably have the most trouble finding, is the tiger in the tree. Although there is also a tiger in the tree, which you can see from further back and stuff. And I'm just really, really excited and happy that he gets to live here now.
Definitely make sure that you stop by to see Light Show before it leaves on December 12th. In addition, there's several other exhibits currently running at the museum. Please go to quiltmuseum.org and click on current exhibits to get a full list of all the exhibits currently running. Moving on, as we speak, we have one of the museum experience programs going on in our education department. The experience is a phenomenal program in which non-quilters of all ages and all types, even folks that have never used a sewing machine at all, participate in a program where they learn a little bit about quilting and they end up making their own quilt block. Let's go visit Becky Glaspie and her team and see some folks work on their quilts.
I'm Becky Glaspie. I'm the Director of Education here at the National Quilt Museum in Paducah, Kentucky. And we've created a signature experience for any small groups or mid-sized groups of adults looking for a new experience, something new around town, whether you're local or visiting Paducah for the very first time. And we love to bring that art of quilt making and really allow participants of the signature experience to fully immerse themselves and explore what quilting is all about. We've created our signature experience, the Creative Stitch, just for this purpose, and it allows your group to come and take a deep dive into the art of quilt making and explore their own creativity and inspirations. We kick off with a VIP tour in the galleries to explore the quilts. You get to learn the stories behind the quilts, some of their inspirations, and even see how some of those techniques were used to create the works of art that we have here in the gallery. After the tour, we take the participants in our group into the classrooms to create a hands-on, immersive experience. They get to design and choose fabrics, sew on the machines, and actually create their own unique, one-of-a-kind quilt block souvenir. We give everybody the same starting blocks of squares and triangles and some rectangle pieces and allow their own creativity to shine through in creating all sorts of different designs and details and combinations. As many as you can think of, those possibilities are found here in those quilt blocks. To find out how to schedule your group to come for the Creative Stitch experience, you can call the National Quilt Museum and ask for the Signature Experience or the Creative Stitch. And we look forward to having your groups here to explore and experience the art of quilt making.
I love when people come to the museum to participate in the experience program. I remember a few years back, a gentleman was in the program. He actually drove the bus that everybody came to the museum on his bus. We got him to make a quilt block and he was so excited about it. I ended up seeing him a few years later and he said that he actually has that sitting on his bus and he shows it to people every time he takes people anywhere. If you'd like more information about how your group or organization can do the museum experience, simply call the museum and ask for Becky Glaspie in the Education Department. Thank you once again for watching Quilt Museum TV. A few reminders before I go. Please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube station and our Facebook so you can hear when future episodes are uploaded. Also remember that there are many ways to get involved with the museum. Simply go to quiltmuseum.org/get involved to see a whole list of the different ways that you can help the museum. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.